Happy Tuesday, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. We've got a couple of new counties that are added to the list of burn bans. So Austin, Fort Bend, and Montgomery. That means if you live in Conroe, Magnolia, let's say Sugarland, Mission Bend, Missouri City, Richmond, you are not allowed to burn. Notice a good chunk of Harris County still has a high risk, very high, working up 59, 69 towards Cleveland. Harris County proper isn't under a burn ban just yet, but definitely exercise your caution. We have not had any rain this month, and we really haven't had much rain for the year. I'll show you the deficit here in a second. So that means our grasses, the brush, the trees are becoming a little bit more combustible. That means if there's a spark around, they're more likely to catch fire. And so for that reason, we just gotta be careful. Moderate risk though, closer towards the coastline. Luckily, the other weather variables are not so bad. The wind is another variable that we monitor for fire risk. If we were getting some strong gusts, then the fire risk would be even higher because we don't just worry about fire starts, but fire spreads. Wind is the #1 issue when it comes to the lack of wildfire containment, because the wind can be erratic and it can be really strong and propel that fire growth a lot more quickly. Dew points, so they're in the 50s. That means it's comfortable outside. Luckily here in Houston, we tend to have at least some moisture around, and that does help with fire risk. So right now, things aren't so bad. 84 degrees. It feels amazing out there. In fact, it actually feels a degree cooler. We're tracking beautiful sunshine. As long as we're careful, today's going to be a really nice day to enjoy outside. Clear skies throughout the afternoon. That high temperature of 90 degrees, give or take 1 or 2, will be right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. One other thing to note is that when we have clear days, we do tend to see a little bit more pollution down at the surface. So if you have asthma or any lung or heart condition, try not to exercise outside today because you would be huffing and puffing a little bit more of that dirty air. And of course, it leads to an aggravated throat, runny nose, itchy, watery eyes. So you want to avoid that. Current air quality map shows we're all in the yellow, moderate category. There was one spot yesterday near Cypress, Magnolia, and Tomball that did get into the unhealthy for sensitive groups category. So I'll keep an eye on this late afternoon, and if we do see something pop up, we'll be sure to warn you about it. What helps with many things is some rain. First of all, it helps with the pollution. It helps with pollen and the drought, of course. So we are happy to see some rain back in the forecast. No rain today or tomorrow. We're ushering in a 20% chance for some isolated showers on Thursday, and then a 30% chance for Friday and Saturday. That means you do want to carry your umbrella with you. This is going to be a Pacific system, so it's not going to do a lot in terms of cooling down our temperatures, but hey, at least we're going to get a little bit of rain. Ooh, I really have the sensation of wanting to sneeze. We'll see if it comes. Now, if this low was coming in from Canada, that's when we'd see some cooler temperatures moving in. So not quite there just yet. The timeline for this, like I said, moving in for the weekend. So that's a snapshot at 3 o'clock on Saturday. You see most of the energy is closer to the low, which is going to be moving closer towards the Great Lakes. So Chicago, Missouri, that's going to be the area that gets a little bit more of the rain accumulation. You'll notice that line continues to push in some good rainfall totals from Louisiana towards Mississippi, Alabama, but really not a whole lot here in Houston. Here's a closer look at future track. So clear conditions today, clear conditions again for tomorrow, then cloud cover starts building in on our Thursday, and there you see those scattered showers and storms. So 2 to 6 o'clock, I think that's going to be the highest likelihood of you seeing some rain. But notice rain kind of continues, at least the probability of it, through the night Friday Thursday into Friday. That's a snapshot at 5:30. So if you do head into the office Friday, just know that it's probably going to be a little bit of a messy commute, and it's likely going to slow you down. So maybe you set your alarm just a little bit earlier. That's your heads up. Rain accumulation through the weekend is pretty light. So you see it's just green for us. So maybe that's an inch to, on the higher end, 1.5 inches. Most of the heavier rain, like we saw in the models, pushing eastward, which isn't ideal. Look at October. We haven't had any rain. We're about 2 inches below where we should be for the month. For the year, it's a lot bigger deficit than that. We're getting closer towards 10.5 inches. By this point in the year, we should have 40 and some change. We've had 30 and some change. So definitely on the drier side and certainly on the warmer side. The outlook through the 24th shows we are expecting to see above average temperatures here in the Lone Star State, and really for a good chunk of the country, at least the eastern portion of it. This is also in line with the La Nina that's forecast to be taking over the country for the winter months. La Nina typically favors a wetter, colder outlook further north and a drier, warmer outlook further south. So that makes sense why we're not seeing the big drop in temperatures like we'd hoped to see for the fall season. At least our mornings, though, have been really, really nice. Check out the lows that we had this morning. A couple of us, a good handful really, dropped down into the upper 50s. 58 Columbus, 59 Brenham and Tomball, 58 for Conroe and Cleveland. The closer you get towards the city, the warmer it gets. We talked about this yesterday. It's the urban heat island effect. It's a real thing. In the city, from the materials of the buildings to the activity from cars, factories, all of that generates a lot of heat and traps in heat, so it absorbs it during the day and it kind of stays stuck here at night, which is why you don't see as much of a cool down, say, as you would in a more rural area that doesn't have all that activity, that doesn't have all of those materials that absorb the heat and trap it. Instead, there's a lot more vegetation, and while yes, that vegetation warms up during the day, at night it undergoes this process of evapotranspiration, and it allows those overnight temperatures to cool off quite a bit more. We're all warm though in the afternoon. Check out our temperatures right now. We're hovering in the low to mid 80s area-wide, so we're at 84 Bush, 85 for Conroe and for Brenham. Tomball, you're also at 85 under clear sunny skies. Your sunset time for today is 6:51, so if you could get out of work early and go for the afternoon walk, I recommend it. We go from a high of 91 today to a high of 89 tomorrow, and then dropping those temperatures a little bit as we go into Thursday because of the cloud cover and that rain chance. What are the chances of development in the tropics? Well, luckily, we're not seeing anything other than Tropical Storm Lorenzo. Wind speeds 45 miles an hour. Ooh, it's moving towards the northwest, but not for long because the National Hurricane Center has us taking an easterly turn and fizzling out there. So it's not going to be a concern definitely not a concern for the continental U.S., but really doesn't look like a concern for land. Next name on the list would be Melissa, and then after that, it is Nestor. 7-day forecast shapes up like this. We're still looking at a nice cool morning tomorrow. Enjoy that. A little bit more mild on Thursday, and then those overnight temperatures start warming up just a little bit. That's because of the cloud cover. So clouds at night act like a blanket. That also traps in some heat. But the afternoon high temperatures will also be a little bit cooler. So 86 on Thursday and Friday. Remember, Friday into Saturday, higher rain chances, 30%, a couple of showers in there. Becomes more isolated by Sunday, and we are back to sunshine Monday. Your next newscast is with meteorologist Pat Kavlin at 4, and then your chief meteorologist David Paul is back tonight. He'll be on at 5, 6, and 10. Have a good